Hi kids, Janie is going to tell you about the hummingbirds. Good morning, and so I'll give it over to Janie to tell you all about hummingbirds.
Good morning, kids. Opa and I enjoy hummingbirds. We have them all summer on our porch, around our flowers, and Opa keeps the hummingbird feeders, 4 of them on our porch filled for the birds. So we like hummingbirds, and he thought you would like to know about them. So I'm going to tell you some facts about the hummingbirds. Hummingbird is the only bird that can fly up, down, back, front, left, and right. Other birds can't do that. So it's kind of like what a helicopter can do. So that's one thing that makes them really, really neat. Another thing is that they're so tiny. They're so tiny and cute. Hummingbirds can be anywhere from about 5 centimeters, and what Opa found said about 13 centimeters, which would be about that big, but we've never seen one here that big. They must be rare or indigenous to a different area. But hummingbirds are native to America. They fly very, very far when they migrate. So about October, the end of October, they're going to start leaving us, and they're going to go south for the winter, and they will fly all the way to Mexico from here, which is, what do you think, Opa? From here to Mexico would be
Over 1,000 miles.
over 1,000 miles that they will fly. When they migrate, they travel alone. They don't travel in flocks. Like we have geese here that migrate here from Canada when it's cold, and then they go back to Canada. They all go in flocks together, but the hummers just take care of themselves. They fly down there and they fly back. Hummers can fly from a certain kind. Rufous hummingbird flies all the way from Alaska to Mexico. And Alaska, you know, is the northernmost point of the U.S. And so it flies 3,900 miles, which would translate to you as 6,276 kilometers. So that flies all the way down there, spends the winter, and then flies that same distance back to Alaska. They always go back to the same place and go back and forth. Hummingbirds are really, really unique. Their wings can be anywhere, depending on the species, and there's many, many species of hummingbirds. Their wings can be anywhere from 12 to 80 beats or waves in a second. That's incredible to think. It's so fast you cannot see it, but you can hear it, and it makes that humming noise from which they get their name, hummingbirds. But it just goes like that. And they're very accurate flyers, because we can be sitting on the porch watching them, and they'll fly so very close to your head you can feel the wind in your hair, but they'll never touch you. They'll just keep going, and then it's like vroom, like a kamikaze pilot, you know. So they're kind of fun. They can see more color than we can, more in the ultraviolet range. I don't quite understand how all of that part works, but they see more color than humans do. They do seem to be attracted to red a lot in our yard, so I keep red geraniums on my hanging baskets in the porch so that they come to them every summer. And this is incredible. Your heart beats anywhere from 60 to 100 beats in a minute. But theirs can beat 1,260 times per minute. So their little heart's beating so fast we couldn't even count it. I mean, as slow as I speak, it would take 5 minutes for me to count it. But it's beating that fast. They can fly as far as 800 kilometers without stopping. They fly all the time, keeping those wings and their muscles built up to make the long trek back in the winter to warmer places. They're just tiny, the ones we see, and they're beautiful, and they're so much fun to watch, because there's always one in the bunch that wants to be the boss hummingbird, and he guards, because we've got like 6 hanging baskets and we've got 4 feeders, and he tries to run all the other birds off and keep them all for himself. So he'll be on this side, on the north side of the porch, guarding those, and the birds will sneak to the south side, and here he'll go down there, and they just dive at each other, and it's fun to watch them do. But they're really cute, and we enjoy them a lot. Is that all right?
That's good. Okay, kids, that's what Jenny, I should tell you, I'll show you how I make the feed for them. I've already boiled water, and I'll tell you about that. Let me show you. That was really good. Thank you, Jenny. Can you see me in the camera there?
I see your hand, I see your chest.
Okay, take it a little bit back until you can see me. How's that?
Yeah, I'm gonna have to tilt it. Yeah.
Just loosen it here.
Oh.
I think it's
Okay, you go back and I'll set it. So I'm gonna get your head in there. Don't move. I know you want to take it out of my hand, but stay there so I can find you. Oh, it's on. Sorry. It's on?
I think so.
Oh, well. Okay, they've watched the adjustments.
Okay, so a little
square.
bracket. Yeah.
Sorry about that, kids. Oh, and something I wanted to tell y'all about the hummingbirds, and I forgot. Their little nests are about as big as a human thumb. There's my thumb. Their nests are about that big, and you can look and look and look in the trees, and you can't hardly ever see them.
Okay, kids, I've put 4 cups of water in here. I put it on the stove and I boiled it, and then after it boiled, I put a cup of sugar in it and stirred it, and then let it cool down, of course. I use this filtered water for it, and I'm going to drink a little bit now, just to make sure I don't want any impurities to get into the water with them, because they're very fragile. You know, they mostly eat nectar, which is by nature, and that's very pure. So I want to make the water as pure as possible. So the water is in here already. Once it's cooled down, and we've got 4 feeders, so I work at about a cup a feeder. But the interesting thing is when after I boil the water and put the sugar in, although I use 4 cups, I always get more water. And I think if you look up in science stuff, it's because the water, when it's cold, it's more denser. When it's hot, expands. So at room temperature, it's a bit more water. And that's fine. So this is one of the feeders we use. And the bottom comes off like that. Just unscrew it, and I only wash this with hot water, no soap, because that can leave residue that's bad for the birds. And I make sure that all the stuff is out of it that might be in there. And so I just wash it with warm water out of the geyser. So I've got a little brush here that I use to make sure it's clean. And this feeder, this comes off, and I just make sure that it's clean as well. This feeder looks a little bit different, but it's the same principle. And I'm just going to rinse it out. They are pretty clean because I normally do this once a week. You don't want to leave the water in there for more than a week because of the sugar and the sun. It will start to get cloudy and then it's not good for the birds anymore. So I don't fill these up. I did in the beginning, but I learned how to do it the best way for the birds. There's always a little bit of impure stuff in there that needs to be washed out. So all I do now is I take the water that I've boiled, and it's now room temperature, take a cup measure.
Papa's hand is steadier than mine. I always have to use a funnel.
There's a little handle there, I don't want it. And then I put a little bit more because I told you there's more. So just about a cup and a quarter maybe if you can. Just so I fold it to there. And this is not critical, just to even it out a little bit more between the feeders. But I mean, if one feeder, they drink it all up before the other one, there's 3 other feeders, so they're never really without any water or food for them. It's food for them. Okay, that's good for these 2. That one is ready to take out and put out for them. Jenny, if you can follow me, we'll show them we put it up, and that will be the end of the video.
Here's the sign Tara gave us when we moved in here.
I did the other side. There's the one, and then we go around the porch here and show the thing of geraniums.
Oh yeah, you can see the geraniums. They love the geraniums too. I've got 6 of those.
And there's the other one going up. So they'll come and they'll whiz around these. The other 2 is on the other side of the porch, and I'm going to do exactly the same with them. So there's no need for me to show you that. You know now how we do our hummingbirds. I think there are birds similar to this in South Africa, Australia and New Zealand. In South Africa, we used to call them suikerbekkies, but it's not the same as the hummingbird. But there are birds that are close to this, so if you want to do research and maybe do something like this, it will be cool. Oh, okay, kids.
I did read that in New Zealand they do have hummingbirds, but they're a lot fewer than we have because they don't have the same kind of blooming things that we have.
Oh, the same kind of flowers.
The same kind of pollinator things.
Okay, well, maybe you can put some feeders up there so that they are in the summer, so they'll be opposite from ours. We are going into winter now, so in about a month we take them down. Oh, there's our dog.
The dogs heard us.
So normally we put the feeders out on the 2, what we call the 2 funny days. It's 1st of April, which is April Fool's Day, and we take them down on Halloween, 31st of October. So the hummingbirds between that time, they come to visit us. So it will be opposite in New Zealand. Okay, kids, love you. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.
Bye.